We are back with the 159th edition of the Quarantinecast. Like always, I'm really excited for this one. I'm going to have Eryk Anders coming on. He's going to be joining me here in a few seconds. For those that don't remember, I had him on as my 10th guest almost a year ago, a little over a year ago, and he was the first guy I was nervous about interviewing. So without further ado, I'm going to bring him on. Hey man, how's it going?
Man, going awesome. And yourself?
Not too bad. Not sure if you heard that little intro, but it was over a year ago that I introduced or that they interviewed you, and you were the first guy I was super nervous to interview. You were my 10th ever, so I appreciate you taking time to jump back on.
Man, anytime, brother.
So last time we spoke was right at the beginning of the pandemic. Here we are a year after that. Lockdowns and reopenings and all this stuff, this chaos the past year. How have you been on a personal note?
Man, to be honest, never been better, man. Feeling good, feeling great, and just prospering.
Did you find that the pandemic and kind of like a break away from reality was kind of nice on a mental side of things?
Man, to be honest, my life never changed or stopped. I trained all through the pandemic, traveled, left the country, did everything they told you weren't supposed to do. And had a great time, So, the pandemic wasn't really any biggie to me.
In terms of fighting as well, I mean, you were busy. You had a couple of fights the past year. I want to talk about the most recent one. Darren Stewart looked unbelievable. I thought that was the best you've looked in a very, very long time. Obviously, a knee was thrown and kind of changed things, and it ended up being a no contest. When you look back on it, how do you assess that performance as a whole?
Man, it was going good until it wasn't, Definitely the best weight cut I've had, the best, I felt before a fight, going into the fight. It's probably the first time in forever that I've gone into a fight with no, nagging injuries or, bumps or bruises or whatever. So, camp was perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better preparation for that fight. So, it's I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass for, throwing that knee. But, man, sometimes, in the heat of the moment like that, man, you just not really thinking, just more reacting and doing. So, I just kind of, I think bloodlust is a good word for it. So just, just trying to get him out of there, do my job, and, collect my check. But, yeah, I messed up.
Yeah, it was a weird one too, because a lot of people were comparing it to the Petr Yan one, but it wasn't blatant. Like the guy, he was up and down. It was very confusing. So it wasn't quite the same. When you look at that, are you like a little bit like butthurt? Like really, like that? Like in my eyes, it shouldn't have been. You know what I mean? Because of the ups and downs that he was playing. Do you agree with that, or are you okay with the fact that that's the rule?
Nah, I don't think that there's a position that you should be able to take in a fight where a particular strike or strikes are off the table. Now if he's on his back, do I think that I should be able to Vanderlei and jump over his legs and stomp his head? No. But man, I don't really think that you should be able to be, take a defensive position and strikes get taken off the table for me.
Yeah.
Do I think I should be able to soccer kick him when he's down? No, but when he's up against the cage like that, and especially if he's playing the game, then I should be able to throw knees. But
yeah.
That what I think and what other people think is really irrelevant. And the rules say this and the rules say that, and the ref comes in there between before the fight and tells you what's good. And I knew the rules, but it's not like I was how do I put it? I didn't, I thought he was on the way up. I didn't do it intentionally, and it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, onward and upward. I guess that's the best approach. And it's been rebooked. What was is that something you wanted right away? Like, I want him. I don't want anybody else. Are you okay with doing that?
it really didn't matter to me because, look, if you look at the first, if I throw that knee in the exact same situation in the first minute of the fight doesn't stop. But because of the barrage that he took, you know, in that first 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes, or whatever, of course he's not going to be able to speak coherently and walk in a straight line and do all that stuff, you know, because, man, you know, he got hit a lot in the beginning part of that fight. So, yeah, of course he's not going to be able to continue, you know. But, so, I mean, the fight was well on the way to being over. Even if it goes into the second round, I don't think it lasts much longer than that. It's just what they offered me. He signed, I signed, and, you know, we're going to do it again. So, you know, to go out there and do it right this time.
One of the differences is that it's at light heavyweight. What was the reason for that? Was that just a mutual decision between the two of you? Is that a permanent move on your part? What is that?
No, I think it's a permanent move on his part. We both signed to fight at 185, then he came back and said he wanted to do it 205, and, you know, whatever. You know, I'm not sure what advantage he gains fighting at 205, or, you know, if it's just a confidence thing for him. You know, if his weight cuts suck, or I don't know what the deal is, but, you know, he came back and said he wanted to do it 205 and that he didn't want to fight at 205 at 185 moving forward in his career. So I was like, all right, whatever. You know?
It doesn't matter, man. You've competed at 205, so like it's really not a benefit for him, I don't think. I think you're probably bigger overall as well.
Oh yeah, I'm taller. I'm probably heavier. You know, naturally walk around heavier, and you know, but I do think at 205 he'll be more durable. I think that same punch that dropped him at 185 may not put him on the ground at 185, but you know, I'm confident in my, you know, cardio, my stamina, and you know, it may not be the first one, but one of them will get him.
One of the other changes is this time it's going to be in front of a sold-out arena, hopefully. More than likely, it's going to be a packed crowd. How exciting is that for you? Man,
I'm super excited. I went to the fights in Houston this past weekend, and, man, the crowd was just electric from the first fight to the last fight. And, man, you could even see the fight changing with the energy of the crowd. Like, someone landed a solid shot, man, they just went for it. And, you know, that's what the crowd does. You know, it's, I don't know, it kind of amps you up a little bit more, gives you a little bit more energy. And, you know, you definitely want finishes in front of the crowd.
What was that experience like yesterday? I mean, I'm sure it was probably crazy to be one of the first people back to a sold-out attendance like that.
Oh, it was crazy, man. You know, like I said, from the first fight to the last fight, you know, and it just got louder and louder as the night went on, as more and more people started pouring in there. The energy of the crowd, you know, I'm so glad that I actually went and got to experience that, and it just kind of adds a little something, you know, moving forward in camp, and, you know, it makes you want to get that finish and go in there and perform well. That much more, especially it being here in Phoenix where I'm training, you know. So, you know, it'd be like a home game for me. So, you know, it's even more imperative to go out there and, you know, perform well.
Yeah, like you're now in Arizona. How awesome is it to be able to compete in front of your new home?
Yeah, it's going to be great, man. I know that these are very passionate MMA fans around here. Like, the wrestling community is, you know, it's huge out here, and that kind of trickles over into MMA. So, you know, I'm sure they'll be loud, they'll be excited, and perform.
You're now permanently fight ready. How awesome has that move been?
I think it's been career changing. You know, I think that you know, like you said, you know, my last fight was probably my best fight, and, you know, that was just after 8 or 9 weeks. You know, now I'm here for another 8 or 9 weeks, and you know, essentially 4 out of the 5 months of this year I've been out here training in Arizona. So, you know, if I fight out here one more time, that would be 6 months, and so that's like, you know, I basically be living here half the year. So, you know, I'm just excited to see the progress and the progression of my career.
I'm assuming you're training at altitude as well, eh?
What's that?
Are you training at altitude as well?
I don't think there's. I think now I'm just. I think it's like 1,200 feet or 1,300 feet. The elevation here, so it's not too bad. No.
I'll ask a couple more questions and then I'll let you go. Obviously, on your card, there's a huge fight in your weight class, and I can't go without asking your prediction. I mean, Izzy coming back down and he's fighting Marvin Vettori. Your thoughts?
I think Adesanya is like one of the more intelligent fighters in the UFC. So I think if you beat him, you have to beat him the first time. You know, I don't think that he makes the same mistakes twice. And I know that the first fight between them was super close, but man, I just see Adesanya fixing and correcting all the errors that he may or may not have made, and might be able to put Marvin away.
All right, man. Well, thanks again for the time. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to see you go out there and do your thing next month.
I appreciate you. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, man. Best of luck.
Thank you.
So there you have it. Eryk Anders. It looked like we had a little bit of audio issues there at the end, but yeah, he fights next month on June 12th. He's fighting Darren Stewart. Be sure to tune in and check that out. If you guys haven't yet, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.